Yeah, right. Yeah. Yeah.
Hi, Mark. How are you? Good, good. You got your little fella coming? It's Anna. Anna.
The May 19th meeting to order. If you would stand for the pledge, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Would you call the roll, please?
Mr. Ward?
Yes.
Ms. Regola-Dye?
Yes.
Dr. Bennett?
Yes.
Mrs. Getzman?
Yes. Moving on, I would entertain a motion for the approval of the April 22nd regular meeting minutes. So moved. Thank you, Ms. Regola-Dye. A second?
I can second.
Thank you, Mr. Ward. Were there any corrections? Hearing none, would you call the roll?
Ms. Regola-Dye?
Yes.
Mr. Ward?
Yes.
Dr. Bennett?
Yes.
Mrs. Getzman?
Yes. Motion carried. Moving right on to accommodations and communications, Mr. Cedar.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome. I know you're here for just an exciting board meeting, or well, maybe other things too, right? So we do have two real neat accommodations and communications, and that's really the crux of the meeting. Other than the business portion, following these two sections, we'll have an opportunity maybe just to share with some of our retirees. We've got this really interesting looking cake over here. It's like cupcakes, but it's cake. Never seen such a thing. It looks like they just spread it all over, but we'll get a chance to spend some time with our retirees as well. First off, though, we had a really wonderful accomplishment. Joan Fithian, who has now been a retiree for 3 years and is loving life for you retirees, is a big part of Elks. And so they also do an Americanism in Government kind of an essay, and so we're blessed to have a real winner right here from Mount Vernon. And so, Joan, I'll let you come on up and you can introduce Anna, and she can share with us. You might need to turn that mic on there for us.
Good evening. I'm Joan Fithian, proud retiree of Mount Vernon City Schools. National Elks sponsors an Americanism essay for all local lodges for grades 5 through 8. This year's theme was, "What does patriotism mean to me?" This is our second year sponsoring this contest, and we had 2 Knox County schools that participated, East Knox and Mount Vernon. In 5th grade, we had 2 schools submit essays from Pleasant Street, Angie Tripp, and East School Susan White. We sent the top 3 essays to the district to be judged. It is my pleasure to give Anna from East School, who placed 2nd in our North Central District. She also receives a $50 gift card. Anna would like to read her essay at this time.
In 1998, 70% of Americans considered patriotism very important, but today that number is 38. Patriotism to me means being loyal, trustworthy, brave, and fighting for rights that we may not have. Men and women have joined the armed forces, such as the Army, Navy, Air Force, Coast Guard, Space Force, and the Marines, and they are very brave and heroic to be out there and represent our country. We follow the laws and principles that our founding fathers fought for to create the United States of America. When we say the Pledge of Allegiance, we are always quiet, we face the flag, and put our right hand over our heart. On November 11th, we celebrate Veterans Day to honor all veterans who served in the United States military, whether they served in wartime or in peace. Every 3rd Monday of February, we celebrate President's Day to honor the first president, George Washington, whose birthday is on February 22nd, and by celebrating the 4th of July, which is when America became united. We wear red, white, and blue on that day. All of the people are being good citizens by voting, volunteering, and helping others. By voting, you get the choice of who represents you. But if you don't, vote, people get the choice of who represents you. When you volunteer, you help the community, and it could benefit your physical health. Volunteering also benefits our ecosystem by cleaning trash and litter around our school and town. Patriotism also means justice and liberty for all, and freedom. You definitely don't want to live in a country where you don't have freedom and liberty. That also includes civil rights and free education. We need rights and free education. In conclusion, patriotism means freedom.
I'm going to keep you up there, Anna, for just a second, if you would. So, we're so incredibly proud of you. Thank you for, one, participating, and two, talking about patriotism, because it's really, really important. Did you bring some special friends with you today? Who did you bring with you? Okay. Congratulations to you as well. It's awesome. Thank you so much. Thanks, and again, thanks to the Elks for continuing to do that. Now we get on to the retirement portion of the agenda for this evening. We haven't had a lot of retirees over the past number of years. We kind of have a spattering of 4 or 5, and all of a sudden we come upon a year such as this, and we're up to 14 retirees. And so it's a little bittersweet time for us here at Mount Vernon. A little bitter that we're losing some amazing staff, whether they're teachers or classified staff, but we're excited for you as well as you get to kind of take on this new chapter of your lives. So we've got a little PowerPoint. You sent us a picture, really just kind of sharing the number of years you've been here, and you have a presenter, someone who's going to go up and perhaps read a little bit about you. Retirees, once we're kind of done and you go up with your retiree, I do have a question. I'm going to ask you what I asked Anna, and that's who you brought with you today, because I know that your journey wasn't just done by you. There are people who stood beside you, so people you brought with you today. And then maybe if it's not in your kind of the speech or whatever, the presentation of what you're thinking of doing in retirement. Is that okay? All right, pressure's on. All right, let's go ahead and get started. First up, we're going to bring up Big George Eddie Bear, and Christy Grandstaff's going to join him. Come on up, Christy.
First of all, I have to say this is my favorite picture of Ed. No, I got more. But this was a picture I took after I started and we decided together that we were better together. He went out and got this shirt that said Mr. Ed, and on the back, on the tail, it said better together. I think he was trying to be funny, but I took it very seriously, and I was very happy every time he wore it. So today we celebrate the retirement of Mr. Bear, and your last day was in October.
31st.
Yeah, so he's been away from us for a little while, but he was, and still is, a valued member of our Wigan Street family, and he is a devoted employee of Mount Vernon City Schools for the past 17 years, is what he says. He says this is incorrect, so I'm going to go with what he says. That's what the state said, that's it. All right. So Ed began his journey with the district at the middle school, where he served for 7 years before joining us at Wigan Street. And for the past 10 years, we've been fortunate to call him ours. And we certainly benefited from his giving of resources and his generous heart. This is something that many people may not know about Ed. Ed can often be found sticking some cash somewhere, donating his time, or donating money towards the kids. But he donated time at our annual Fun Festival, helping with the bustling chaos of the Monkin fundraiser pickup, or engineering creative gadgets, whether it be shelving or even custom designed games for our school Fun Festival. Ed brought problem solving and ingenuity to every corner of our building.
And who could forget his role on Popcorn Fridays, his favorite. That's when, you know, everybody eats popcorn and the floor is covered and the custodian has to clean it all up at the end of the day. I think he might have secretly enjoyed the popcorn cleanup just as much as the kids enjoyed eating it. Beyond the tasks and tools, what has truly made Ed so special is the way he cared. He cared about the staff, the students, and the space we share. He was known for, like I said, giving money to the school and PTO for students that didn't have money to buy gifts for our holiday shop or for the book fair. As Ed enters this new chapter, we hope he carries with him the gratitude of all of us. You will be and you are missed dearly. And on behalf of the entire River Street community, thank you. We wish you the best in your retirement. You've more than earned it. Congratulations. Thank you.
Eddie, did you bring anybody special with you today?
Just myself.
Just yourself?
I'm
All right,
special.
good. Well, tell us, what have you been doing in retirement?
I work for the annual schools. That's where that 17-year came from.
Okay.
Maybe one day a week or just whatever.
Well, on behalf of Mount Vernon City Schools, and I know you retired in October, we have a small token of appreciation. And by the way, when you retire from Mount Vernon, we have a really beautiful watch. I think you'll find it very commemorative, something that you'll keep for a long time. It's really, really special. So Eddie, again, thank you so much for your 16 or 17 years in Mount Vernon, and best of luck to you. I guess next up is going to be Baker. So if we could have Bernie kind of come up. I know Bernie's ready to roast Deb, and Deb is so excited for this opportunity. I'll give you the mic and you can go up over here.
Good evening, everyone, and what a wonderful evening getting to celebrate retirement of these Mount Vernon City School employees. It's just a beautiful time in their lives. So I was thinking about Debbie, and I've known her for a good 28 years, and we met here through our schoolwork, and she works through food service for Mount Vernon City. And I got to thinking, Debbie, how many lunches would you have prepared? It would be, I didn't actually figure it out, but it would be in the thousands. It'd be thousands and thousands of lunches. And I know, besides preparing lunches, Deb had such a wonderful work ethic. She was always there, always willing to help with whatever needed to be done. But most importantly to her, and what I noticed with Deb, was her rapport with the students, and it was so genuine and lovely to see. I know she could pick up on the students how they were feeling when they come through the lunch line. You notice sometimes you see tears, sometimes you see them so excited to tell you something, and Deb could always pick up on that. And we would try to maybe help them out or make them feel a little bit better. Deb we kind of cue each other in. We had that little cue, you know, like, go see what's wrong with them. But she could always, touch in on that feeling with the children. And she could immediately brighten their day, and she'd send them off with a smile. And she always tried to make lunch their favorite time of day. I mean, who doesn't like lunch? You're getting to eat lunch, and recess is involved, and a break from class and whatnot. And she'd always send them along their way and have them, they were in a bad mood. Dad, you always brighten your day. I always noticed that about you. And it was so apparent. She retired in October of last year also. And I know it was so evident on her last day here at school. She was so loved by students and staff. They all just ran to her and clung to her. And it was just wonderful to see that. But Deb, always remember that about you. You were the best with the students. You couldn't have been a better person to work with. And I so appreciate it. And so we want to wish you a happy retirement. And I can't believe that time's here already. 28 years, yes. And we just wish you, like I said, a wonderful retirement and lots of health and happiness in your retirement. You're wonderful to work with.
So Deb, will you bring anybody with you tonight? You did. Who?
Yeah, and one of my best friends.
One of your best friends?
Yes.
So what have you done in retirement since October? Anything special?
We live on a farm, so there's lots of gardening and flower beds, and you know what farm likes. Farm life is like. But it's been fun, sleeping until 6 or 7.
I think that is a perk, that most retirees will say that there are no more Mondays, is what I'm hearing. But it's a great picture behind. I know when Vernon sent that to me, I thought, wow, that's pretty special. So on behalf of Mount Vernon City Schools, we want to congratulate you as well.
Thank you.
Thank you, Vernon.
You're welcome.
Next up, and she's got her tissues in hand, Darren Prince, and I think Taryn Brubaker as well, her colleague in crime, are going to come up and share about Rhonda Dyer.
I have the distinct pleasure of welcoming Rhonda Dyer as we celebrate her retirement. I have to say this, the very first teacher communication that I got from a teacher at Mount Vernon was from Rhonda. I don't know if she knows this or not. She left me a note, and I'm not going to say exactly what it said, but it essentially said, "We are a school of great people, don't change anything." So I hope she can forgive me, because I did change a few things in the first year, but one of the things that I did change, which she was an incredible help to, was our Veterans Day celebration. And I can't tell you how appreciative I am to her, that whenever I went to her and asked her, she immediately said, "Yes, I will help." And ever since then, before I even asked, I'm already working on those things for Veterans Day. As a matter of fact, I've already been to Walmart. I bought all these materials and got the centerpieces ready. Rhonda, I love you. Thank you so much. But I cannot do it justice to be able to say all the special things that need to be said, but your partner in crime absolutely can. But I will share this, that your very first year at the middle school was the year that it opened. And so Rhonda has spent every day in the same room. That room belongs to her. And it was an emotional moment for Taryn and I as we just began the interview process for a new person.
Like just before we came here.
Just before we came here. And I did tell Rhonda that I'm going to find some way that inside of her room I'm going to put a plaque somewhere in there, because that's Rhonda's room. And so I'll pass it off to Taryn.
Unfortunately for you, I actually didn't cry today. So if my mascara starts running, just mind your business. I had to give a speech the other night, and I had already cried off all my makeup, so we were fine. But I did also print it in larger font so I could see it through the tears. Rhonda can't look at me. I won't look at her. I'm just going to try to get through it. Okay. Good evening, everyone. Today I have the beautiful but incredibly difficult honor of standing here to celebrate one of the most extraordinary people I've ever had the privilege to work with. My friend, my mentor, my daily dose of laughter, and the heart and soul of our art department, Rhonda Dyer. Rhonda and I have taught side by side for 17 years. 17 years of laughter, chaos, creativity, and more than a few, how did this become our life moments? From the start, Rhonda has had an incredible way with kids. She sees them, hears them, understands them in ways most adults never will. She pours her entire heart into making sure that every student feels valued, respected, and believed in. And somehow she still manages to balance all of that with a sense of humor that can brighten even the most stressful day. We weren't sure if I was going to say this next part, but I mean, you can fire her. She's already retired, so I'm going to say it. We've had more laughs than I can count. I mean, I will never forget the infamous pumpkin drawing incident, where a very innocent demonstration turned into, well, let's just say, accidentally uncomfortable. It was one of those moments where the kids had no idea what was going on, thank goodness. Neither did I. Rhonda sadly didn't either, and I had to tell her to get the pumpkins off the board. Then there was a time we spray painted the school. Yes, the school. Not just one room, we're talking classrooms, hallways, and the office. And yes, it was technically sanctioned, but still, painting into the early morning hours while giggling like teenagers will forever be one of my favorite memories. That night wasn't just about art, it was about passion, teamwork, and the kind of friendship you can only find in the trenches of education. Ron and I have learned so much from you, not just about art or teaching, but about life. You've been a role model to me in every way, a leader with extreme sass, a friend with the biggest heart, and honestly a mother figure. You've taught me how to stand up for myself, how to face the wildest of student behaviors, and how to show up fully for students, for coworkers, and for life. You've literally unlocked doors for me more times than I can count. Like literally, you let me in when I lost my keys for the 50th time, helped me organize my chaos of a storage room, and kept me afloat during the tough days. You've looked out for me in school and beyond, throughout every personal twist and turn. Through it all, you've made me feel seen, supported, and loved. However, let's not forget how often I've had to help you with technology. Finding things you've accidentally deleted, and eventually just taking the keyboard from you because I can't stand to watch you peck at the keys for another second. And how about me telling you to never say a certain word or phrase again because it no longer means what you thought it did. There were also a few times I had to explain the meaning of different songs so you would not play them during your class. But that's what made our partnership so special. I brought the Google skills and the immaturity, and you brought the wisdom. And then there's the way you look back at the three Baker boys. They adore you. We all adore you. Your impact on this community, this department, and my life is immeasurable, and I am forever grateful. I honestly do not know what I would do without you. No one will ever fill your shoes, Rhonda, but I promise as I step into this new role as head of the art department.
She likes that title.
I will carry everything you taught me. I will do my absolute best to make you proud. And every time I get through a tough day with grace and a little sass, I'll know it's because I had you lead the way. Thank you, Rhonda, for everything. For every laugh, for every moment of guidance, every late night, every morning, every unlocked door and word of encouragement. Thank you for loving our students the way you do, for loving me through every season, and for making this place feel like home. We will miss you more than words can say, but your legacy I will live on. In every hallway, every classroom, and every kid who walked into your room and felt like they mattered. And while we're over here trying to figure out how to do this without you, I know that a whole new, beautiful world is waiting for you. One filled with family, creativity, and of course, bringing me lunch. I call you because I miss you and I've had a really bad day. You'll finally have time to dive into your own art, spend precious moments with your grandkids and children, and of course, Ron. Let's hope you're not bossing around too much, or at least by now he's used to it. I love you, I will miss you, and I will carry your spirit into every brush stroke, every laugh, and every little moment of art room magic. So Rhonda, as you're teaching those grandkids how to shape their first drawings or showing them watercolor techniques, let's just go easy on the pumpkins, okay?
So Rhonda, where are you going? So congratulations.
Thank you.
Who did you bring with you tonight?
I brought my husband, Ron, my daughter, Lexi, my son, Ryan, my daughter, Jamie, and Adam, and my grandson, Zach, and Elle. The whole family.
Wow, that's awesome. Well, you are a family member for a lot of people, and Taryn, that was really well done.
It was beautiful.
Really good.
It was beautiful. That's the second time I've heard it, and it still made me cry.
I do have to tell you, Rhonda, as we get older with our grandchildren, we've got to learn the language. I mean, if Taryn tells you that's not what they used to mean anymore, I mean, I told my grandkids, hey man, that was really hip, and they went, What? Yeah. So we gotta learn the language together, right?
I know, we do.
On behalf of Mount Vernon City Schools, we want to say thank you to you with this small token of our appreciation.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Very sweet.
That's an artsy person.
Next up will be Cindy Vernon and Harvey Watterson. So welcome. Should be a mic right there. Yeah.
All right. Good evening, everyone. We are gathered here today with a mix of joy and a touch of sadness as we celebrate the remarkable career of a truly exceptional educator, Mrs. Cindy Vernon. Don't start crying. I told you not to do that. For the past 30 years, Cindy has been a cornerstone of our school community, leaving an indelible mark on our countless young lives. It's hard to believe that 3 decades have flown by since Cindy first stepped into a classroom. While many of you know her as our wonderful 5th grade teacher, Cindy's teaching journey has seen her also grace the classrooms of 3rd, 6th, 7th, and even 8th grade. That versatility speaks volumes about her dedication and her ability to connect with students of all ages. What's fascinating is how Cindy found her way to us. With her passion for sports in her younger years, her initial dream was to be a gym teacher. Life, as it often does, had a slight detour in mind, leading her to explore the path of a dental hygienist through her high school studies. After high school, she earned a bachelor's degree in business and Bible. While she didn't ultimately pursue any of those paths, it speaks to her inherent diligence and commitment to learning. It was her time as a secretary that a friend saw something special in Cindy, suggesting that she consider teaching. And in true Cindy fashion, she didn't just dip her toe in the water. For 3 years, while raising 2 young children and even cleaning houses in the evenings, she tackled a demanding 16 to 18 credit hours each semester. That level of dedication and perseverance is the same spirit she brought to her classroom every single day. When I asked Cindy about her favorite memories, one shone brightly: teaching Mount Vernon history to her 3rd graders and taking them on a walking tour of our city. That hands-on approach, bringing learning to life beyond the textbook, will remain a cherished memory of how education should be. And speaking of textbooks, Cindy has witnessed significant changes in education over these past 30 years. She often reflects on the shift from teaching solely from a book with the students answering on paper to the digital world we now inhabit now, filled with Chromebooks and the vast resources of the internet. She's also seen the evolution of state testing, from locked up booklets to the online platforms of today. Her adaptability and willingness to embrace these changes have been invaluable. Cindy, your commitment to your students has been unwavering. You've not only imparted knowledge, but also instilled a love of learning, fostered curiosity, and provided a supportive and encouraging environment for every child who has walked through your classroom door. You've made a real difference in the lives of so many. As you embark on this new chapter, we want to thank you from the bottom of our hearts for your 30 years of dedicated service. While we will miss your presence in the hallways and classrooms, we are excited for you to have more time for the things you love. So please join me in wishing Cindy Vernon a long, happy, and well-deserved retirement.
Congratulations, Cindy. I think I know what you might be doing after retirement, but who did you bring away with you today?
Many staff members.
Your staff members are all lifting it up over there. Oh, and a whole group back there too. Obviously, you were very loved at East, and thank you so much for your 30 years. Besides that baby care sitting, any other plans in retirement?
That's one of 7. We're going to start traveling this fall. We're going to Scotland to start out, and helping out with some homeschooling, I think, with some grandkids.
All right, well, very good. Well, on behalf of Mount Vernon City Schools, Thank you so much for your time with us. And, next up, we want to celebrate Janet Jones, and Marty Ark is going to come up and do the honors.
Well, I don't have a big glorious speech because I don't need it when you work with Janet. Janet is amazing. Every morning, I know she comes in early to prepare, but she stops by my office and we know how that goes. So she might get 5 minutes when she comes in at 7:30. So we are gonna miss those, aren't we? She promised me she's not gonna cry. So she's not, but Janet is amazing. Cindy did it because Cindy was a dynamic teacher, and those two were very close together when I first got there. And Cindy, we are the last two survivors. Now I'm alone. I've got others that are starting to age with me. But so Janet comes from Tiffin, and her husband brought her to Mount Vernon. He opened up the new JCPenney's we had in 1993. And then she started for the ESC. Then in 94, was it? 94 is when she got involved in Mount Vernon City Schools. 23 of those, she was a dynamic in 3rd grade until I asked her to go to 2nd grade. And so she's been in 2nd grade and has loved every minute of it, haven't she? I don't think at first she thought she would like it, but I think if you had a choice to do it again, would you stick with 2nd? I think she would too, and she's amazing. The kids love her. We're going to miss her. We're going to miss a lot of that structure that seems to be missing lately, and Janet definitely has that structure. So it is my pleasure, and you along with us, to celebrate Janet. We were going to miss you. I know I'm not supposed to make her cry, but I am going to hug her because I will miss those morning talks.
Congratulations, Jen. Did you bring anybody with you tonight? Cindy. She's still pointing at Cindy and some friend from Dan. Well, congratulations. So, any plans on retirement?
I have a son getting married and some traveling planned.
Those are good things. Marriages and travels, and it's going to keep you really busy. Well, on behalf of Mount Vernon City Schools, we want to say thank you and the best of luck to you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next up, we'd like to celebrate Jennifer Miller, and Kathy Kassler is going to help us with that.
First, I want to say it's the month of May, and so your high school administration would like to be here. There also is a board assembly, but they got called away from that. There's, of course, other obligations, so I'm pitching, so I hope you don't mind. But you've always been a friendly face for me, and anything I needed, you've always been willing to go in and help out, and if you didn't know, you would find the answer. These are the words that were given to me to help share and to help give us a nice send-off. Jennifer has been a great value to students and staff at Mount Vernon High School for the past 9 years. Jennifer's willingness to take additional responsibilities above and beyond the description is what's going to make her very hard to replace. She wanted to be busy all the time, every minute of the day that she was there, so she didn't have books to process, lamination to run, a Chromebook to fix, or any other tasks. She took on to grab a feather duster or the vacuum cleaner and just went about it, everything that was needed. She's definitely going to be missed, and she's going to be a hard person to roll to fill. So we wish you well in your retirement. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, well, hey, we want to wish you the best of luck. Did you bring anybody with you today?
My husband Dennis.
Dennis.
We're both born and bred Mount Vernon, graduated from Mount Vernon as well.
Nice. You got plans for her? What are your plans?
We're moving closer to our kids.
Where are your kids at?
Our daughter is my master's attorney up near Akron, working for a firm out of Texas, and our son and his wife are in Cleveland, and he just took on a job, coffee production, so he'll be buying coffee for his company.
Wow.
Nice. So you're going to be moving up towards the Cleveland Akron campus.
Yes.
Good for you. I do have a question for you, since you're a librarian and love books. I need you to tell me if I have a problem. So I love Nicholas Sparks. He's more of a romantic guy, and I love spy novels. Is that weird?
Now they go hand in hand.
They go hand in hand. Well, they go, thank you. Well, on behalf of Mount Vernon City Schools, I'd like to say thank you, and best of luck to you. You really got to take a look at this picture before they come up, but we're going to celebrate Dawn Porter, and Teresa Weaver is going to share some remarks about Dawn. So I don't know, Dawn, if you still have those underwear somewhere, but...
That's funny.
That right there that sums it all up. Oh, and the microphone was left on. I said I was not going to try to talk into a microphone that was not turned on. So I have the pleasure of introducing, most of you probably already know her, Dawn Porter. When I came in to Mount Vernon, when I accepted my position in April of 17, Dawn had just lost her husband, Joe. And I have been beyond overwhelmed at times with the strength and the perseverance that she shows, and we see that from her on an everyday basis. And I can't imagine, if Joe were here to celebrate with us today, how absolutely and incredibly proud of her he would be. So some things that our team, oh, my phone's giving me technical difficulties, hold that thought. So I can use the mic, but I can't use my phone. It's navigating glasses, a microphone, and my phone. All right, our team worked on what was Dawn's Mazza's dinner reading together. Most of these words are Jackie Hatchmiller's, and then all of us were inputting into them. But to stay a little pointed, Pleasant Street Elementary is celebrating Dawn Porter's retirement, as you know. It's a new era for us because after Joan Fithian retiring and Kala Albert back there retiring, and now Joan, they're like the cornerstones and foundations of our building, and we're going to learn to attempt to function without them in our building every day, all the time. This is her 41st year of teaching. So some fun history and facts. If we go back a few decades, Dawn served our country in the Air National Guard. While serving, she earned her bachelor's and master's degrees from Ohio State University, all while working at the Mansfield Public Library, managing her farm, and parenting her two sons, Adam and Brett, alongside her husband, Joe. And as you know, all of those things are no small feat. She served as a substitute teacher for half a year, and after that, she landed her first teaching position at Elmwood Elementary, teaching 4th grade, and eventually also 1st grade, 2nd grade, and 3rd grade. And she even served in some split-level classes thrown in there. After her 13 years at Elmwood, Dawn transitioned to Pleasant Street Elementary School, where she has been serving students for 28 years. She has served as a 2nd grade teacher, a 1st grade teacher, a Title I teacher, and an academic specialist. Aside from a lot of humor, which the videos that we could pull and show you would keep you entertained for hours, things that she'll be remembered for. Infamous teaching aprons, with bottomless pockets full of anything you could possibly want or need, or sprite utensils, stickers, sweet treats, motivational strategies for students, especially when she's told often to sub in our classrooms when we don't have enough teachers in grade level rooms. She's also known for her love of animals. Students love her various class pets that she's had over the years, and they enjoy looking at pictures of her pets. Numerous staff members own dogs, horses, and other pets that were acquired with Dawn's help because of her experience with animal rescues. We even have a little history together of rescuing a rat from under the shed, only to discover it was an abandoned pet of some students of ours, and that even went home with Dawn. Her nurturing nature and compassionate heart are also evident in her interactions with students. She receives so many hugs every single day, and I'm convinced she loves lunch duty, and the kids know her, so when she goes to sub in their rooms, they know her as the lady at lunch duty, and I think that's a big reason why she gets so many hugs. She's knowledgeable as a mentor, trustworthy colleague, and experienced teacher with a love of reading that's infectious. She can be counted on to follow through, complete the task at hand with excellence. Her dedication to her family, job, students, and pets is inspiring. Pleasant Street Elementary is beyond blessed to have had the privilege of Dawn's influence both inside and outside of the classroom for 28 years. and just one other little thing, I was thinking about this, as I was sitting back there and I looked down our road, and beside her is Frankie Pumphrey. Sorry, Frankie. I am gonna create a moment for you too, and I'm not gonna apologize for that. But the most amazing thing for me as a leader is, Frankie's gonna need a tissue box, or about just mine. But to see that Frankie is someone that Dawn had in class. Dawn mentored her in high school, had her as a student teacher. We stole her from Ontario to bring her back to her foundation at Pleasant Street. And Dawn's legacy is sitting right there and is walking through my door every single day, even when Dawn is not. And how absolutely full circle, sorry Frankie, love you, but how absolutely full circle and amazing that is, that impact from that many years ago is still going to be seen every single day at Pleasant Street. So please join me in congratulating Dawn on her retirement.
On 41 years.
Right.
Wow. The amount of lives you've impacted in 41 years is amazing. Was there something that is, 41 years to do it that long, it's all about the kids, is that right?
It truly is, and like I said, when my husband passed, I got to see them, get the love from them that, and my grandchildren live in Mansfield, so I saw my classroom kids more than them. It was great, yeah.
I know we've talked several times, and I could always see that in you for sure. Did you bring anybody special with you?
Just my fellow
Your
team
fellow
members,
colleagues over there,
Yep.
and your protege, and
Right.
some of that stuff.
Right.
So, plans in retirement?
I'm coming back to Pleasant Street. Very small amount of time.
Very small amount of time to come back. Well, thank you so much. And on behalf of Mount Vernon City Schools, we're so proud of you, and thank you.
Thank you.
Next up is Kim Marth and Margie Ark. We can have them come up, please.
So we have another lot of years leaving Dan, so we're gonna be hurting for a while. Because think of all the years we have. Just like, not to scare everybody, but you have about 90 years with the three of us triad. That's kind of scary, isn't it? But yes, Kim she's been in Mount Vernon, and actually her guest that's here, I'm not even gonna talk about it because she has to do that with you, though.
Okay.
But I think it's in her blood, education. So she did start at Big Walnut, but their levy didn't pass. So fortunately, Mount Vernon was able to steal her at the middle school at 7th grade. She stayed there for 3 years, then she went to Columbia. At Columbia, I think you taught just 5th, wasn't it? And Title I, 5th. Well, then when she came to dynamic, what did I give her a workup? She went to 2nd grade, 3rd grade, 4th grade, 5th grade. And this is what happens when the state says pre-K3. Because when your classes grow, the people like Kim get to grow up, and then back down. But I appreciate everything she has done. She's done an amazing job going to all those different levels. Think about all those standards and doing all those shifts. But she did get to have several students, a couple times. Yep, she did, so that's kind of a good thing. Kim, you've been 18 years at Dynamic. That's a long time too at Dynamic. 11 at Columbia, 3 at the middle school, 1 at Big Walnut. So you once again have 33 years in education. We are going to miss you. If you ever need a home decorator, you should see her classrooms, no matter how many shifts of rooms. People are like, can I have that? Can I keep that? Or can I take that with you? Immaculate. Perfection. So, Kim, I want to thank you for everything you've done at Dan Emmett. And hug and no cries. Janet, yeah.
Congratulations, Kim. Did you bring some special folks with you today?
Yeah. My dad is here. He was the reason that we came to Mount Vernon. He was the assistant principal at the middle school in 1974, and so we came from the Dayton area. So I grew up in Mount Vernon because he brought us here. So, and I have my friends from Dan Emmett back there.
That's awesome.
And my friend from Wigan Street.
They're all family, right? I know families of educators kind of stick together. I know my father was an educator, I became an educator, my children became educators, so you followed your dad. That's pretty awesome. How about any plans in retirement other than interior decorating?
Yeah. I'm going to take a fall trip because I've never been able to do that. I'm hopefully going to work at Costco part-time, and I'm going to volunteer at Dynamite. So I got to wean myself off of school. After you've been doing something for so long, it will be so weird not to be at a school. So they're going to let me volunteer, I guess.
Well, we'll be glad to have you back. And Costco. Now that's a neat one. Are you going to be the hot dogs and the pizza, or is it going to be out in the?
No, I think if you work part-time, you help with the checkout and you help at the door.
Oh, very good. Well,
So that'll be easy. Here to teach you, and that's easy.
so on behalf of Mount Vernon City Schools, we want to say thank you in a special way. So congratulations to you and best of luck. And then our last presentation for tonight is Tammy Serrata, and Andrew Thompson is going to share a little bit about Tammy.
My head's so big.
Excited to be able to honor Tammy tonight and be able to share. I've experienced 7 of those 35 years of education with Tammy, and I know this is about her, but I do want to start with me, just with the beginning of this, because when I came to Columbia 7 years ago, it was my first experience being in administration, way in over my head. And I remember walking through the halls in late July, and Tammy was the first Columbia staff member that I saw. It was before the school year, either late July or first week in August, one of the two. But it was showing that she was dedicated to come in well before the contract said that she needed to be back, getting things ready to go. And so she was starting strong. And the theme of kind of what I want you to hear is finishing strong, as I talk about just kind of how she's finishing out her career. But when I got in there, what quickly became apparent about Tammy is she is a great, great listener. I went and I was trying to figure out, I was familiar with Columbia, having been a student there myself, my kids have gone there up to that point. So I was familiar with the building, but not necessarily how the ins and outs worked on the inside. And so Tammy was able to kind of show me around, but then as I gave some of my thoughts as a parent for the previous 2 years of just like our drop-off and pickup process, it got us talking about just some different things that maybe we could try. And Tammy was able to share some thoughts that she had, listen to what I had to say, tell me whether they were good thoughts. I think she wasn't sure exactly whether she had an open door to go and share with me, like, that's not a good idea, or it's a great idea. I think she was a little bit taken aback at first that, I really wanted to hear just input right away. But it's a testament to her ability to listen to people and then to be able to give good feedback. I'm going to fast forward to the end. So this is right before spring break when she had shared with me that the news that she was strongly considering retirement. She had a few different things to kind of button up and just to make sure we're going to be in play before her husband Paul and her made that final decision. But one of the requests that she asked me was not to share with staff until she was ready to be able to share with them. And that was fine. I wanted to honor that request, but the reason why is she wanted to make sure she didn't come across to staff like she was 1 foot in, 1 foot out the door already. She wanted to make sure that people knew that she was finishing strong, that she was going to be there to give input, be a part of things, and that just because she had said she was retiring didn't mean that she was done serving kids and being there for our staff and for me. So I said to start with me because I'm very thankful for you for welcoming me in, listening, giving me good advice. She was my neighbor for the first few years. Her classroom was directly across the hallway from the office. And so something about Tammy is she's a very, very talented musician. She's a really good singer. She's very good in theater and being able, she produced her first work I'll say that correctly, is that the right way of saying it? That you just had at the Woodward just recently.
I directed.
Directed, sorry. Directed. So she is very talented in the arts and theater, and I got to benefit getting to hear these first graders, excited first graders, sometimes too excited, and sometimes what I would think of as like, all right, behavior, like the management side is going to kick in here soon, and when you might think of some people raising their voice, she either got quieter and the kids dropped to that level. It's amazing. You scream, they just get louder. You drop your voice, they tend to wonder what's going on. And so she did that, or she would sing. And she had a lot of times where the kids would be listening to what she's saying and following her instructions as she went through with that. So that meant a lot to me. 4 years ago, the idea of adding a reading specialist position, which we're very thankful for, came about, and Tammy and I had a conversation about whether or not that would be something that she would want to do, and she was open to pursuing that, was interested in serving kids in early literacy and just teaching them reading on a full-time basis, because as a first grade teacher, reading is a part of it, but there's other subject areas as well. And I was very thankful that you did that, Tammy, for a variety of reasons. One, you're fantastic with the kids in a large group, you're fantastic with them in a small group. I think one of the things that she really has helped me, again, don't mean to make this totally about me, but she's helped me in my journey here. We have gone through so much training in the science of reading and in dyslexia screening, all those things, and we had to learn a program called M-Class, and there's lots of in and outs to that program. And I have to admit that Tammy and her teaching partner would come to me and ask me a question, and my answer every time was, I don't know, but we can try and figure it out together. And the together turned into Tammy figuring it out. So she has taken on a lot of roles and responsibilities within our school to really help kids learn how to read. Her colleagues, as I've asked for some things that they would say about her, is sweet, kind, caring, and compassionate towards kids. My favorite, most stressful part of the day, and my favorite part of the day, is when kids are coming to school. Stressful in the sense that it's kind of hard to really take a breath until every kid gets in safely. But once they get in safely, and getting to walk in and down to our basement by our cafeteria, and getting to see our kindergartners, that was the thing that Tammy has taken on at the beginning of the day for the last several years, is being that first face as kids come in to come in and get breakfast. She, along with our food service staff, were in there the first people that many kids are seeing as they come into the building. And these kindergartners, how patient, no matter how many spills, no matter how many different things are happening, that could be like,
I opened many milk.
It kicks off these kids' days in a really, really positive way. So, besides being a fantastic educator, the first parent-teacher conference I sat in on as a principal, first-time principal, was one of Tammy's, and fantastic with parents, really good at being able to explain things in a very, very positive way, even if it might be one of those really difficult ones to really bring out some positives. She found a way. She found a way to find the best in students. She encouraged bringing out unique traits in each student, and every student felt included in Tammy's classroom. So, on behalf of Columbia Elementary and Mount Vernon City Schools, I'm very excited for you. We'll miss you, but I'm very excited for you. Excited for Paul and your family, and she'll probably share this as well. She's welcoming a grandchild this summer, and so excited for her as she enters that phase.
Well, Tammy, congratulations. By the way, thanks for training Andrew. We appreciate it. So, did you bring someone special with you today?
I brought the ball and chain. Ball, he's over there.
So how about plans in the future?
Well, as Andrew mentioned, in July I'll have my first grandbaby. Her name's Poppy. I even know her name. Don't know the exact date in July yet. I'm going to take my first European vacation, starting off in Prague. So that is kind of exciting.
Wow.
Are you taking the ball and chain?
I guess. It's his heritage. The Serrata is a Czech kind of thing, so we make sure we get to see his history. So, yeah.
Well, again, thank you so much for your service to Mount Vernon and education. 35 years is quite a trip, and we certainly welcome you back anytime. Thanks again. We did have some folks who were unable to attend tonight, and we certainly don't want to. We certainly want to take a moment just to say thank you to them, and so I'll just quickly read a couple of these. Deanna Badger is retiring as a high school art teacher. She's been in the district for 21 years. Sandy Davis and Ellen Kaiser are both cooks at Pleasant Street. They're retiring. And I know they will be missed very much at Pleasant Street. 22 years for Ellen and 10 for Sandy. Mike Fuller is retiring after 40 years of education. 28 years here at Mount Vernon. He's coaching softball at the moment, and probably a reason why he couldn't be here tonight. And Davia Schultz. She did retire midway through the year, has been at Mount Vernon Middle School in East and served in the cafeteria there. And so we certainly want to recognize her. So let's give all of our retirees a nice round of applause. All right, we're going to take just about 15 minutes just to kind of move our way on over, grab a cupcake in that new interesting configuration of cupcakes, something to drink, and maybe share a story or two with your retirees. Or for some of you who have retired, give them a little tip on how they can really relax in retirement. And we'll get started back in about 15 minutes.
Everybody.
Mr. Ward, you do not get to go. I almost feel like we could close ranks and I don't have to use this microphone,
Yeah.
but.
It's good to be there. All right, we will move on to reports and public participation.
All right, at this time, we're going to turn it back over to
So Darren.
Dr. Prince and let him kind of take over the middle school report.
Hey, I didn't start talking about it being on. I may have been the first one that made it. All right, so I have the distinct pleasure this evening to give a building report in May, which is the first time that I believe that I have done that. And so we have a lot to celebrate at the middle school. But before I do that, we have a special presentation. So what you'll see behind me here, this is our vision for instruction, driven, real, personalized, and engaged. And the REAL stands for real world. And I have the pleasure of having a teacher in my building, Ms. Britt Sidrick, who is the queen of project-based learning. I've had people that will come in to interview with me, and I'll start asking questions, and they'll say, so I had this person who taught me at NBU, and she taught me about project-based learning. She was so passionate about it. Like, yep, she's right down the hallway in 7th grade, and Ms. Sidrick, yes, that's her. And so our students get the opportunity to learn from her, and we have a couple of those students that are here with us, and we're going to talk about History Day, which has been a staple at the middle school for a while. But as Mr. Cedar will say, unless you share with people, they might not know what's going on. So tonight, I'm going to have Ms. Sidrick come, Declan Steinmetz, Alexander White, to come to do a short presentation on History Day.
You did what?
Okay. I am so excited to be able to talk about History Day, one of my all-time favorite passions. Just a little bit about it though. It does hit all of our instructional vision elements. It's data-driven, it's research-driven, with PBL and it's interdisciplinary. It's very real world. Kids are learning research skills, they're learning problem solving, they're learning tech skills like how to make a documentary. It's personalized, they get to choose a topic of their choice, and it's very engaging. So to prove that, we have 2 students, and they're going to share their experience. They both went all the way to the state level, which is very competitive. So I'm going to hand it over to Alex White and then Declan Steinmetz.
Hello, I'm Alex, and I made a presentation about Toronto Burke. And when National History Day, when it was first introduced to us, I freaked out. I was like, nope. I had no idea who I wanted to research about. I had no idea that I would end up loving it so much. All I knew was there was a whole month of research and finding images, and then I was introduced to Toronto Burke, and I just knew exactly what I wanted to do. Toronto Burke is an influencer, and she speaks for women and their rights to speak up. She is an amazing person and has inspired me, and I'm so thankful to have learned about her from Miss Right and have the opportunity to be able to learn more about her. I'm still currently learning more about her, even though competition is over, and it's just been so fun, and I've gotten to learn so much about other people, not just the person I research, from my fellow classmates. And I've gotten to learn about how to make a documentary and talk to judges and face my fears of like speaking in front of people, and it's just been a really good experience. I definitely would recommend it to any student who is confident in themselves and wants to be able to share about what they love.
Can you share a quick, just a little bit about Tarana to the board?
Yes, Tarana Burke started the Me Too movement, and as a young girl, she was abused and sexually assaulted. And after speaking to lots of women and seeing that they had experienced those things too, she wanted to do something about it. So she joined different celebrations and just people getting together and fighting for their rights. And it led to the Me Too movement being started, where she finally got her word out and people now all over the world are able to talk about it and feel confident in themselves. She took away a lot of the fear and self-doubt and hatred for themselves, for all the women that felt like it was their fault and that they were the problem. She has also helped get a lot of people that have been doing the wrong actions and horrible things, gotten them put in jail or fired from their jobs, and helps people all over the world see what was happening and that it was wrong.
Thank you.
Hello everyone, I am Becky Simons. Thank you for letting me speak today. I share same opinions as Alex. It was a lot of fun. It was a great experience coming to school every day and learning about somebody I enjoy. So I did my project on John Wilbur, who was a 16th century political activist. My dad in the audience, he introduced me to him. We both share a love of history and we talk about it every morning, I'd say. It's just, yeah. We have a lot of fun doing that. It was great going to the competition and learning how to talk to judges and go through proper, I don't know how would you say it, just the way you say things. It was great. I recommend it to students who have a love of history, as me too. Who just
That's okay. Question for both of you. So you picked this person out, you did research, right? Then you developed these YouTube videos. And so did you share the YouTube videos at the state competition, or was this like you getting up in front of judges and sharing your research?
Yeah, we did share the videos with the judges. We would watch the videos and then afterwards we would talk about them and narrate the videos and answer selected questions about it. There were usually 2 trials. One was just you would watch the video and one was they would ask questions about it. Yeah.
Was there anything that was tougher than another? Was it the whole video piece, or things maybe you enjoyed more than others when you did this project?
I don't know. It was fun doing the research and seeing what everyone else did too. Seeing how other people blended the theme, which was rights and responsibilities, in the person day to day, and how they crafted their documentary and used different strategies like that.
I really thought that, learning about the many people and just what they did especially the people that I didn't know they existed until finally somebody shared with me that this is who they are and this is what they've done. And it was really hard, honestly, finding pictures of my person from birth because she wasn't famous as a little kid. She was just a little kid. And so, like, we see her as a little kid, and, you know, just another little baby, just pooping and crying, you know. But, so that was a very big challenge. It was also very scary having to talk about your person in front of all these people. And so, it was a very good experience, though. I think it helped me become more confident in myself and be like, yeah, you can do this.
Is this something, Britt, that they can do as 8th graders, or is a competition kind of?
It actually starts at grade 4
Okay.
and goes all the way up to seniors. You can work on it as an individual, you can work on it in a group, and there's not just documentaries, there's all different kinds of categories. We just really like including that tech piece, that they're getting those skills with the research. So these two did so great. They went to districts and represented us so well, and then advanced all the way to state, and again, just did really well that day. Very impressive.
That's amazing. That's great. Congratulations.
Any other questions, though? We love that, too.
I'm assuming we can click on those links later and watch your...
Yep, they're both about 10 minutes. Okay. That's the maximum length you're allowed to have, and theirs are like 9 minutes, 59 seconds.
Honestly, that might have been the
Oh, my goodness.
You gotta fit all the explanations and
But yeah, they're linked on
Okay,
my
great.
YouTube channel, so you can watch them whenever.
Thank you for that. Yeah, yeah.
I can share this with you. You can take it straight from here. John, is this something that'd be on the website? Okay.
We are very proud of you. Yes. Thanks for representing us.
Opportunity to let us recognize them.
And thank you, Mrs. Sebright.
Thank you for mentoring.
Oh,
Survivors of domestic violence are warriors in their own right, fighting for their freedom and.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing. So, Mr. Steer and I have been talking a lot about soft skills. Let me tell you what, there is no chance that I would have been able to do that when I was 13. No way. So, nice work. And so, project-based learning, 21st century skills is something that within our school we really are focusing on. And for next school year, it's going to be a focus of ours, is placing more emphasis on soft skills and what employers need in the workforce. So you'll see up here 110%. And I was a wrestling coach and a football coach, and it was often that I would tell my players that I wanted them to give me 110%. I asked that of my teachers this school year, and they delivered. And I just want to share just briefly with you about that. So we, as you know, are a very unique school community, and we have students that have additional needs in math and reading, but we also have students that are in our gifted program that are doing exceptionally. That sometimes the students that are right in the middle for us, we lose sight of a little bit. And at the middle school, as the students, our elementaries are terrific at growing their students, and we've had some challenges coming into the middle school, continuing that. Some of that comes with the transition, but I also think a little bit of that comes from as you get into a bigger building and you're changing from class to class, that relationship that you get to have with that teacher is not the same as that teacher you might spend 6.5 hours with. And so this school year, I asked for the teachers to give us 110%, and that extra 10% was on those students that were in the middle. And so this school year, if you go to the next slide, please. This is just an example. This is an 8th grade math teacher where he selected 10% of the students. What I asked of them was, I will let you select the 10%, but I want you to focus in on the students that you think that you can make the greatest impact with, and that are somewhere on the Ohio State test score between 690 and 710. So what you'll see up here is somebody who selected about 15 students. And we got our scores back last week, and for this teacher specifically, you'll see on the right-hand side there, of those 15, he had 11 of them that passed, and a few of them you can see were up in the accelerated portion. And that was simply from building the relationship. So what the teachers would do is, these students didn't know that they were being selected as a 10%er, but they would meet with them regularly in order to set goals. And they do that with all students, but with this specific 10%, they were building a relationship further than what they normally would do. And if you go to the next slide, please. We also add a little bit of an incentive. So we go to I call it relationships with roller coasters, a little R&R. And we also think that while we have that intrinsic motivation, especially from the relationship that gets built, is when you get up to the middle school level, they've been taking the state test for a while, and we kind of figured, let's just bump it up a little bit for them, and we offered them the opportunity that if they were able to pass their assessments, that we'd take them to Kings Island. Actually, it was a big debate. It was Kings Island or Cedar Point, which in my household is a really big deal. Because I'm from Cincinnati, and my wife loves Cedar Point, and with our staff it was the same way. And so this year we're going to Kings Island, next year I agree that we'll take it to Cedar Point. But we didn't want to just focus on passing the assessment. We wanted to also focus on kids who put in that effort and grow, also come to school, so attendance was a big piece, and then following our PBIS expectations. And we don't have the ELA scores back in just yet, but we do have the math scores. And if the ELA scores are similar to the math scores, we're going to have about 650 kids that are going to be eligible to go to Kings Island. So I hope Todd's ready to get those buses ready to go. So this is our math scores. And so what is unique to me is that you'll see I asked them for 10%. And you can see there in 6th grade, which has traditionally been a focus point for us, that they jumped from 58% up to that 71%. Truly almost just that 10%. Down to 7th grade, they went from 62 to 67%. But what is I'd like to point out with that is this year's our first year for our changed math curriculum, where now in 7th grade they are taking a 7-8 compacted class. So a lot of those scores of our kiddos that are at the top end actually fell down into 8th grade, which you can see that, where they now went from 56 to 76%. And if I recall correctly, the state was at a 48% passing grade overall for 8th grade. So I'm incredibly proud. Now, normally I wouldn't say it, it's just a data point, but our teachers have worked incredibly hard within our building. And I know that they take it really personal, and so thanks for letting me share that. As a staff, we have decided that we want to take a look at how we provide feedback to our students and then also their parents. And so we took a look at a book called The 15 Fixes for Grades. And it has been a journey for us because it looks at what are the things that are common in education that distort the achievement of students. I thought a few times during our staff meetings we were going to come to blows as educators. One of the important things that they wanted to talk about was providing a 0 for a student if they don't turn in work, or maybe they decided that they were going to cheat on an assessment. There are varying opinions, and after we were done having the discussion, the point was that if we provide a child a 0 for not turning in work, then they don't get an opportunity to show us what they know. And so let's work through that and make sure that our students always have the opportunity to show us what they know. And that's just one of the 15 fixes. And moving into next year, the work that we will do is now that we have some background, we're going to work on what are going to be the expectations, what's ideal, and then what are the things that we can live with to make sure that we're providing students and their parents an accurate reflection of what their students know and are able to do. Slide, please. And I have to share always a little bit about our PBIS program. So as you know, that in the past we've been able to earn the Bronze Award, and that is focused on Tier 1, which is the whole school community. And we decided to take it to the next level and really focus it on Tier 2. Next slide, please. And so with Tier 2, it's more of a targeted approach on how we can meet the needs of students that Tier 1 expectations aren't necessarily meeting their needs. Next slide, please. And so this is our Tier 2 intervention slide. It's a reference guide. So on the left side, you see our targeted interventions that we offer at the middle school. Some of them that you've heard from before, and others are new. So we do have a new Citrus room this year. We have our big Citrus program, which we presented on before, which is where our high school students come and meet regularly with our middle school students. We have a whole body wellness class, a new program, football mentorship program, where our students, that if they are struggling a little bit with behavior expectations, we get them hooked up with Coach Weber, and they get to have some after school time together, just learn about expectations, not just in the school, but outside of the classroom. And so you'll see the check marks that go across there. Our PBS committee has done a terrific job this year of really focusing in on the students that are at the high end of our referrals. Are we meeting their needs? And using this checklist to say, are they involved in any of these programs? Next slide, please. A key indicator of whether or not your Tier 2 program is working is chronic absenteeism. And I'm happy to report that the state would like us to drop by 1.25%, and we are currently at 3.5% down on chronic absenteeism. So our kids are coming to school, and when they come to school, they learn, and I honestly feel that school is truly the best place that they can be to get us the help and support that they need. Next slide, please. And so we are applying for the Silver Award for the first time, and we are very hopeful that will come back. But regardless if it doesn't come back, our staff has put forth an incredible effort. And next year, our focus will turn to our Tier 3 support. So I'll look forward to providing that to you next year. So that's what I have for you. Thank you for letting me share with you.
Thanks.
Thank you. Like I said, there's a lot of really wonderful things going on, and I think I shared in a board update that we got a chance at our district leadership team meeting to really let buildings share. And at the end of that meeting, I was just so proud of our teams and our leadership, the many wonderful things, and we have to continue to do an even better job. I think we do a good job, but we can do an even better job of sharing all of those successes, because there's a lot. I know I went to Darren and Corey here recently, and I came back from a business advisory council meeting, and I challenged them both. I said, what business is telling me is we need to work on soft skills. And so I've challenged them both to really dig in and look how we can incorporate soft skills into our curriculum, and not just place it all on one subject area like English, but we can do it building wide, and it'll fit right inside the PBIS stuff. So we're pretty blessed and pretty fortunate. So, all right. I guess we're at this point, Ms. Getzman.
I did not see April, but Mike, anything tonight?
Thank you, President Getzman. I just wanted to use this opportunity to thank the Board of Education, Superintendent Bill Seeger, Treasurer Judy Forney, for your opportunity to sit down and negotiate in good faith a 3-year contract for the Ohio Association of Public School Employees, our classified staff. We ratified our contract on March 11th. And I will tell you, it was a unanimous vote. There was no votes. And I just want to, like I said, take this time to thank you for this opportunity.
Great.
Thank you for your hard work and for coming to the table. Thank you. It's appreciated.
Did you want to say anything, Jessica? Jessica's good.
Jessica, I'm sorry. It's okay. No, okay.
All good.
You're all good. Okay. This is your chance. We'd love to hear from you. All right. All right. Hearing not, we have one for public participation. Andrea?
I'm Andrea White. I have 2 children in the district, one in 8th grade and one in 11th grade. And this is tough act to follow, Mr. Prince. That was a building report. But I did want to say thank you specifically to the middle school track coaches. My daughter joined middle school track. It was her first experience in organized sport. She's an 8th grader, and she had a fabulous season and experience with all track coaches. So I want to give a thank you and shout out to Coach Shelley, Coach Burris, Coach Netter, Coach Boone, and Coach Airbrand. They helped. Obviously, they did the coaching for the team. It's a lot of work to have that many students and commit that much time throughout the spring season. It's pretty amazing. But they coached those students through nerves, through injuries, and helped them make decisions about what they're going to do. They just had a very good season. So thank you so much to those coaches.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that.
Yes, absolutely.
Had a chance to see Andrea periodically at track meets, and up until maybe the last one or two, the weather was maybe frightful. As you can only imagine, track meets tend to be quite interesting, but we are blessed to have some wonderful track coaches, and actually, more importantly, our students always represent themselves so well. And we compete so well. I think we're competing in this conference, and from middle school to high school, and so. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Okay, no board items for discussion tonight, so we'll move on to additions and deletions.
I do have a couple of additions for you tonight. They're all in your agenda, but a couple of these are from FFA, the Ohio Envirothon Contest, the Ohio FFA Camp. We are going to work with Mouse Audiology Services for continued work there. A couple supplemental contracts, and we just hired a new teacher for our BIC and CAB classrooms, which are our autistic units. Again, we're just thrilled when we can get somebody who's got that level of qualification, because it's very specialized. And so we want to get it board approved really quick. So we can put it in. So those are additions for your agenda tonight.
Moving right on to superintendent's report.
I'm going to just give a couple quick items for information. Number one is the commencement for the class of 2025. Takes place this coming Sunday at 3 o'clock at Energy Fieldhouse. I'll be sending the board a list of our graduates. Believe it or not, we have a graduate list of about 300. So that's up from the past. We do have some early graduators. I think in this new era of College Credit Plus and the ability to get additional credits, we're finding some kids can graduate perhaps a little bit earlier. So that should be a wonderful celebration. And so I'll split that into 5, and we'll let you guys divvy it up how we want to present those. We'd also like to maybe share too, the last item for information. Our June board meeting, we'd like to move it to Monday, June 23rd. It's 1 week later. And the primary reason for moving this a week later is, as you are all well aware, the biennial budget and all that goes into that is in quite disarray at the moment. And so we don't know where it's going to end up. And Judy has done a great job of working with what she knows in the financial forecast. You'll hear a little bit about that tonight. But the closer we get to the end of June, that's when the reconciliation of the biennial budget will be most current. And we'd like to give ourselves that chance to be as accurate as we can. So if you're able to, on June 23rd, tentatively we're going to start at 6:30, because I know there's another meeting. That could change to 6 o'clock if we find that other agenda is not quite as large at the Career Center. Okay, so those are 2 items for board approval tonight, or for your information tonight. Under items for board approval tonight, we have 2 negotiated agreements. I will say we are really, really blessed to work with 2 wonderful bargaining units who are more interested in good work conditions, who are interested in kids. It's not often that you hear that we're all in it for the same reason. And we're able to get together to work out problems before they really become big issues. And I think that's apparent in the way that we work on a regular basis, but every 3 years when we get towards negotiations, those can become, a little bit of back and forth conversation. And I'm just thankful that we got a group that are open-minded and are willing to listen. So tonight we have 2 negotiated agreements for board approval. OPSI passed theirs, as Mike said, in March, and MVA, they ratified the contract today. And so tonight I'd like to ratify both of those contracts. One other note here, item number 3 is a special update for Senate Bill 29. Again, it's one of those Neola policy things that we'll have a reading, and we had a reading before. So those 3 items for your approval tonight.
Thank you for that. I would entertain a motion.
I'll be happy to make that motion.
Thank you, Dr. Bennett. And a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Mr. Ward. Any questions or comments? Oh, yeah. This is for the MBA
He can't vote
contract.
on that, or should he?
I'll second. Thank you.
Good catch.
And so we have Dr. Bennett as the motion and Ms. Regola-Dye as a second?
Yes.
Thank you. Okay. Any questions or comments?
Yes, we're grateful for all our teachers and staff.
Amen to that. We are blessed beyond measure. Yes, indeed.
Dr. Bennett?
Yes.
Mr. Goladai?
Yes.
Mr. Ward?
Abstain.
And Mrs. Getzman?
Yes. Okay, motion carried. Thank you. And thank you again for all that you have done. Right, moving on to curriculum instruction. Dr. Bennett?
I think I'll pass this evening in the interest of time.
All right, thank you. Read lots of good information, though.
Yes, we have a number of items for board approval tonight, too. They're both additions to your agenda. The Ohio Envirothon contest. That's going to be hosted for 5.0 Ag students to participate here in June, and so that's on your agenda. And there's also one, the Ohio FFA camp at Muskingum in Carrollton, Ohio. That's going to be on June 16th through June 18th. So those 2 for your board approval tonight.
I would entertain a motion for the 2 items for FFA for approval.
So moved.
Thank you, Ms. Regola-Dye. And Mr. Ward, second? Thank you. Any questions or comments? Okay. Hearing none, would you call the roll?
Mr. Goladai?
Yes.
Mr. Ward?
Yes.
Dr. Bennett?
Yes.
Mrs. Getzman?
Yes. Motion carried. All right, moving on to fiscal services. And Judy, oh my goodness.
Way too much stuff.
Do it.
Well, I'll just start out before you even present. We are so grateful for all of your diligence and your hard work and research that you have put into the forecast that you're about to present that could change real soon.
2 weeks.
Yes.
Okay, so there's the monthly report. This is for the end of April. As you can see, that's the reconciliation. It just shows us that the money we have in the bank matches up with our books when we run our report at the end of the month. So you can see the amount of money that we have there in all funds. That's not just general funds. The next report shows the May forecast. That would be the one that you're going to look at tonight and approve. Those numbers are different than they have been earlier in the year, so we changed them to upgrade them to reflect where we are now. So if you'll see, like the first one where it shows the taxes, those are 100%. The forecast, the software actually runs what's called a bridge, and it actually brings everything up to date from the cash flow. So those numbers are going to be on there. We have 1 more month. We have 2 more months. We have May and then June. So those are the numbers that we're looking at right now. I was going to point out something there. Oh, the other other financing sources. I had to look that up because usually it's a little bit higher than that. And those are refunds from prior year expenditures, and those just vary. Like if somebody returns something, or there's an overpayment, or we get a Medicaid reimbursement, it goes in that category. So that's different all the time. We did have to increase on the supplies and materials. The cost of everything was much higher this year. So we have 2 million in there now. We've spent 1.8 million. I think by the time we finish the school year or the fiscal year, we'll probably be closer to the 2 million, which is substantially higher than we thought, but the costs were higher. And we did put the textbook adoption in there for this year, which was about $500,000, so that's why. So you can see that our expenditures are about 45 million and our revenue is about 50 million. So that's a good reflection there. That's our interest, 757,000 year to date, end of April. We have 2 more months to go on that. This is the breakdown of what funds those are posted to. And then this is just the report that shows all the funds that we have, all the cash balances, all the encumbrances. Interesting, if you scroll clear up to the top, if you look at the general fund, it's the end of April, almost the end of May, and we still have $3 million in encumbrances. That's because we have to encumber high amounts for certain things. So, but my goal always is, and the girls in my office laugh at me, but my goal always is in the general fund to have that down to under 100,000 if we can. So we have to close out all the purchase orders. So, and the rest of the reports are basically just the revenues and so forth. I love this screen. This is really nice.
I can see it a lot better than the phone.
As I said in my email to you, rather than give you 3 or 4 different versions of this, depending on what the Senate does, what the House does, what the committee does when they get back together, what the governor does, we just don't know. So what I did was I created a forecast that has in it what we know. And what we know for this year is basically everything, because we know exactly what our revenue is, what our expenditures are. With this close to the end of the fiscal year, you have to know. But for 26, 27, and 28, that's where I was able to plug in things like we put in our insurance costs. We're predicting, or actually we're implementing, a 5% increase in our health insurance for this year. Our health insurance fund is very healthy, but we increased it by 5% this year just to make sure that we're keeping everything under control in case we get some high claims in. The other numbers that are in here are the 2 contracts that you just approved and an estimate for, because the only salaries and benefits for next year that haven't been approved are for the administrators, central office, and so forth. So there's some numbers in there just as estimates. So that's what's in there. None of the other things from the state, none of the other things where they may take money back when they collect taxes next year. None of that's in there. That's right, good or bad. So if you scroll down a little bit, Bill, you can see based on what we know right now, if you keep going down to the very end there, we are expecting to end this fiscal year with the 19,734,000. And if you look at the next, I think I sent you this other report. Is there another report in there?
Next.
Yeah.
Get out of this?
Yeah. Yes, please.
No.
Okay. I did send it to you where you had the comparison between what we had before and what we have now. I guess we didn't put it on here. So, but basically it just shows why the changes between the November forecast and the May forecast. And some of those things are things that I just talked about, the supplies going up and so forth. The next 2 items are the capital projects fund, and it's called termination benefits fund. Bill and I agree we don't like that name, but that's what the state calls it, so that's what we're gonna call it for now. The capital projects fund, if you remember, when we met with David Conley a few months ago, we talked about any extra money or any additional money that we had in the general fund. We wanted to start putting it aside for maintenance, repairs, construction, those kinds of things. We just hadn't gotten around to doing that yet, but we were going to do that. So we have a resolution, if you approve it tonight, for money to go into this fund. It's called an 070 fund, capital projects. The board has to say broadly what we want to use it for. Not specifically, but broadly. So I got some from other districts, and they say things like replacing roofs, replacing furnaces, paving parking lots, new furniture for the buildings. If they're listed in broad categories, and we were supposed to stick to that. So you can't come along later and go, oh, well, now we want to spend it on salaries. You can't spend it on salaries, obviously. The money goes in when the board decides, and we're going to do that in June, and it can be spent anytime within 10 years. Anything that's left at the end of 10 years has to go back into the general fund. That's the way the state has it set up. So sometime, and before we meet in June, we'll come up with some suggestions, and some of that will be based on how much we think we're going to have to carry over based on the state budget. The next one, the 035, is another fund that a lot of districts have. We've not had one here. And it's basically just putting money aside primarily for severance. So when a staff member retires, they get to be paid for a certain number of sick days. And it can end up being quite a bit of money. And we just pay it out of the general fund. Well, it's easier to track, and it gives us a little bit of history to look at if we put the money into the 035 fund, and the money and any severance payment will be paid out of that from now on. And we're looking at, I did some research on how much we've spent before. In the last 5 years, we've spent probably between $200,000 and $250,000 for those expenses. So we may move about that much over. And then every year we can look at it. If we had a big year, maybe like this year, or that it takes it down a lot, then the board can approve to move enough money in there to keep it to a certain level. Also, right as we get ready to finish the end of the year, we do need to appropriate an extra $10 million. I know that sounds like a lot, but a lot of our expenses are just coming due now at the end of the year. So we just need to move it, not move it, it's not moved, it's just being appropriated. It's already there, it just isn't appropriated, and we're not allowed to spend it till we appropriate it. So these 3 donations, we have one to the high school from PPG for $750, an anonymous donation to the high school for graduation assistance. I think that was meant for fees for students who needed to have some help with fees or something like that to finish graduation requirements. And the last one is to Twin Oak, from the Twin Oak PTO for $3,999 for volleyball equipment. And that's all I have.
That's a lot.
Yeah, that's a lot.
All right, I would entertain a motion for,
Just to clarify, on the 2 resolutions,
Yes.
we're just simply establishing those funds.
Tonight we're establishing them.
Funds could be transferred there at a later
Well, we'd like to do it in June.
Okay.
Because if we have to worry about our carryover balance, that would be a chance for us to set aside some
Make sure
money.
we were just setting up funds.
Yes, and
Great.
the resolution says that. And Dr. Bennett asked a really good question today. In the resolution, we do have it set up so that any interest that's earned on the money in those funds will go back into those funds. So we'll watch those grow a little bit too from the interest. So.
Thank you.
I would entertain a motion for the treasurer fiscal unit, fiscal services.
So moved.
Thank you. Right, so we have Mr. Ward making the motion, Dr. Bennett second. Any additional questions or comments?
I'd just like to say thank you
I would too, thank you.
Yeah.
to our great treasurer.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's good work.
Yeah. We call the roll?
Mr. Ward?
Yes.
Dr. Bennett?
Yes.
Ms. Regola-Dye?
Yes.
Mrs. Getzmann?
Yes. Motion carried. Business services.
I'll be happy to let you all peruse those reports on your own.
Well, thank you, Ms. Regola-Dye. We appreciate that. All right, moving on to items for board approval.
We have a number of items in this section. We have some facility use requests for Special Olympics. We're going to be working with Julian and Krug for our district financial statements for a 3-year period. So I know Judy's excited about that. We have a station break agreement. In the event that there should be some catastrophic situation, we would support them. We have the Knox County ESC primary service agreement. We have their 2005-26 estimate. We have a LACA service level of agreement, which is our ITC. We also have an updated food service agreement with Aramark and the proposed 2025-26 food service agreement with Aramark. And we are in the process of our copier printer services are coming to an end. And so we're working on bids for that. So those 9 items for your approval tonight.
I would entertain a motion for approval.
So moved.
Thank you, Ms. Rolladai. And a second.
I'll second.
Thank you, Mr. Ward. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, would you call the roll?
Ms. Rolladai?
Yes.
Mr. Ward?
Yes.
Dr. Bennett?
Yes.
Mrs. Getzman?
Yes. Motion carried. Thank you. All right, student services.
No items for information tonight. 3 items for board approval. Number 1 is we're going to approve the graduating class of 2025. It looks like on this most recent document, 306 students, pending completion of the Board of Education and State Board requirements. Translation services, contracts, those are for folks who can help some of our ELL students, support them through their testing needs. And then an audiology contract for the 25-26 school year. Those 3 items for your approval tonight.
I would entertain a motion for student services as presented.
So moved.
Thank you, Ms. Rolladai.
Second.
Thank you, Dr. Bennett. Any questions? Okay, hearing none, would you call the roll?
Ms. Rolladai?
Yes.
Dr. Bennett?
Yes.
Mr. Ward?
Yes.
Mrs. Getzman?
Yes. Motion carried. Moving on to certificated personnel.
No items for information tonight, but a number of items for board approval. The first is kind of finishing up with the 24-25 school year. We have the retirement of Rhonda Delp, a couple resignations for track and intervention specialists. We do have the addition of a couple substitutes and a number of supplemental contracts. Those are primarily for summer school. Many of our students at the elementary level who maybe haven't passed that 3rd grade reading guarantee kind of a situation, we give it another shot in the summer, and we bring teachers in to help those students who are really close. And then item 2 is 25-26 school year. So you're seeing Amy Bing's retirement on December of the year. We have some substitute teachers to add to the mix. It's really all of our substitutes. We approve them on a yearly basis. An internal transfer with Daniel Burris and Pam McFarland. Josh Egan is a new teacher who will be doing middle childhood special education. Avery Furryman will be doing art education at Mount Vernon High School. Jamie Glorious will be an intervention specialist at Mount Vernon High School. Kyle Lauer, who is an addition to the agenda, will be working on our communication and adaptive behavior class at Pleasant Street. Caleb McNichols will be a social studies teacher at Mount Vernon Middle School. And Lauren Helfinger will be a long-term sub, and she'll be working at Wigan Street. Number of home instructors at item F, and that should take care of it from the personnel side of things on the certificated class.
That's a lot. All right, I would entertain a motion for the certificated personnel. Thank you, Dr. Bennett. A second. Thank you, Mr. Ward. Any additional questions or comments?
Thank you for being on top of hiring these people.
That's amazing.
Got to hire great people, but we really do have wonderful principals who really take that lion's share of the work. So,
call the roll.
Dr. Bennett?
Yes.
Mr. Ward?
Yes.
Ms. Rolladai?
Yes.
Mrs. Getzman?
Yes. Motion carried. Moving on to the classified staff.
final section tonight, we have no items for information, number of items for board approval. You're seeing a couple one-year contract. You're seeing multiple 4- and 5-year contracts. And then you're seeing multiple 2-year contracts at years 6 and 7 of the sequence. And then a couple continuing contracts, as well as our summer food service for 2024-25. We do have some summer work crew folks as they're getting ready to go, and then substitute employment effective of May of this year. We do have one other retirement, Jennifer, who you heard from tonight. Resignation of Jennifer Grassball, who is our attendance secretary at the high school. She's finishing up her certification. I know she's going to be working at Danville. We're going to work really hard to get her back at some point in time. And she's really good. And then we'll also have rescinding one contract. So those 7 items for your board approval.
I would entertain a motion for the classified as presented. So moved. Thank you, Ms. Regola-Dye. Thank you, Mr. Ward. Any additional questions, comments? Okay. Hearing none, would you call the roll?
Ms. Regola-Dye?
Yes.
Mr. Ward?
Yes.
Dr. Bennett?
Yes.
Mrs. Getzmann?
Yes. Okay, motion carried. Okay. All right, we will start with board member comments, and I'm going to go first tonight. I just wanted to mainly highlight, and I addressed it earlier, the appreciation for the negotiations, and Judy and Bill for taking the forefront of that and working so well with our unions. What a blessing, as we had said earlier. So thank you for all of that hard work. It's exciting to see the elementary outdoor camps. I know Bill has had the pleasure of attending all of those. And it's just exciting to see the pictures that John has provided and all of the work that goes in to make all of that happen. The bus drivers, the teachers, the middle school teachers that come down. And it's just what a blessing for our students to be able to experience that. I think we take for granted that all kids get outside and play every day, but they don't. And it's exciting when they can learn those outdoor adventures, and it's just really cool. And I know Bill said earlier as well that after he had his DLT meeting, you were a little frazzled and kind of going into it with an empty bucket, and you came out with a full bucket after all of the individual building reports. And I'll tell you what, I went through all of them. Yep. Wow. I mean, I don't think people understand the success, the work that goes in to make our building so successful. I mean, reading through the PBIS and looking at the math numbers, and they're not, they did not hold back on things that they need to work on, the priorities, and things that they need to kind of really look for next year. And they celebrated their successes, as they should. And it was just, it filled you up quick once you started going through all of those things. So thank you for sharing that with us, because it is great to see. We hear the negative, and it's great to see all the amazing things that are coming out of our building. So thank you for that. I know we are getting ready for summer, and Mike's list is going to be full as they continue to repair and replenish and revitalize our buildings for the next year. So I just wish everybody a very restful and recharging this summer as we look forward to yet another year. And thank you to Darren for the middle school and sharing those successes, because it's wow, amazing. So thank you for that. Mr. Ward.
Okay. There's a lot of things to be thankful for, you know, hearing these reports, seeing these reports, and getting contracts done, and, you know, allowing us to, you know, forge ahead and, you know, kind of re-energize ourselves this summer. But one thing, I'd be remiss if I didn't say it, you know, the two young folks that came up and were talking about History Day, you know, my organization is the one that runs History Day. So I see the other side of it. So it was really interesting. I was texting our CEO and said, hey, just so, in case your ears are burning, we're having a History Day discussion as we speak. It was just proud, you know, because one of the things that, you know, they have to learn in this process is to stand there with a microphone. And I know Mr. Prince was saying he wouldn't be able to do that. But, you know, it's just interesting to watch the kids grow in these processes. And, you know, and here we had two that made it to state. that's a big deal. So I just wanted to acknowledge that it's really nice to see the fruits of my other life showing up here in front of me at a school board meeting. So it just doesn't happen very much, so I really appreciate that. Thank you.
Mr. Goladai.
Thank you. I come tonight with such a sense of pride. When I began my teaching career, I never thought that I'd be here, sitting with these esteemed people and continuing working for the benefit of children. I am beyond proud of our staff and our children and what they've accomplished this year in and outside the classroom. I continue to be amazed, and it's thanks to our hardworking staff, administrators, and our community that we're able to continue to provide a great public education for children in this community. So thank you to all the people that support our great public schools, especially Mount Vernon City Schools. And congratulations to our graduates and our retirees. Thank you.
Absolutely, yes. Dr. Bennett.
I don't think
Sorry.
anything's I just really was thinking today about how grateful I am and want to thank all of the people who've invested in our young people and our students. And we have great teachers, and we recently celebrated Teacher Appreciation Week, and we're just so thankful for them. But above and beyond that, we have great staff who are dedicated and caring about our kids, and our administrators who run our schools so efficiently, and our two board employees, our superintendent and treasurer. There's just so much to be thankful for. And also I was thinking about the community and all the awards that our graduates, our recent senior graduating students have received, and how generous and caring our community is, and how blessed we are to live in Mount Vernon. I also was thinking about all the extracurricular events, and even what Britt shared with us this evening. Kids will never forget those experiences. That's where they really grow and mature, and I'm so thankful for all the people that invest in our young people after school in extracurriculars and clubs and sports, and also in music and the arts. We get to benefit as a community, to go to concerts, to see the games. It's just so much to be grateful for. And I also wanted to congratulate our seniors and our retirees, and to thank the parents for entrusting your children with us. It's a privilege to educate your kids. So thank you.
Thank you. As the retirees were going through, I'm not a mathematician, so if I'm off, don't correct me. But just in those that we recognize tonight, almost 300 years of service. That's amazing. I mean, that's a lot of years to replace, and how blessed we are. And just the support they all had, I mean, from their own buildings, that says a lot. I mean, that right there says a lot.
And it wasn't just putting in years, but
no.
great
Absolutely.
service.
So yeah, what a blessing. All right, we are moving on. We have a need for executive session this evening.
Short need for executive session for the appointment and employment of staff.
Okay. I would entertain a motion to go into executive session.
So moved.
Thank you, Ms. Regoladai.
I'll second.
Thank you, Dr. Bennett.
Ms. Regoladai?
Yes.
Dr. Bennett?
Yes.
Mr. Ward? Mrs. Getzman?
Yes. Motion carried.